ultimately, we're going to come back to this. Don't overcomplicate it. The absolute core of warband fighting is front to back. It's what you're seeing on the screen right now. Two warbands facing. Well, this is a funnel, but it's still front to back fight. That is the absolute core.
Can you go into that a little bit more? What exactly is a front to back?
Absolutely. Tanks in front, DPS behind them, healers behind them. So again, tanks in the front, DPS behind them, healers behind them. 3 layers.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Warcamp Broadcast, where we talk about all things Return of Reckoning. We release a new episode every Friday. I'm Serjekk.
And Bank.
And today we're continuing our series on leading warbands. This episode is one that answers the question we get more than almost any other. Why should I start leading?
Ooh, tough question. It's the question everyone's afraid to ask. Leading can look pretty intimidating from the outside. Terrifying, even. You've got 23 other people. You've got people, talking in a region, keeps, the campaign, battle objectives. You're the one that's in the driver's seat and supposed to know what to do. That can sound pretty intimidating.
It does. I'm going to be upfront with everybody. I'm not a warband leader. I've led a lot of PvE. I've run plenty of dungeon groups. But calling a 24-man RVR fight is not really in my wheelhouse. So for this series, I'm basically playing the role of everybody at home. I'm going to be asking Bank the questions I would actually want answered if I were about to set up my first warband.
I think that's perfect, and I think that representing our audience is a great idea. But Serge, I think you're selling yourself a little short because you've led a lot of PvE. You've played small man warbands and everything. The experience that you have and the core skills that are in use when doing that are exactly the same. So I think that you'll just see that it's just applying the same skills on a different battlefield.
Yeah, that's reassuring and all. I don't know if I believe you.
I'm a Chappa, not a Dark Elf. We don't lie. But hopefully you will by the end, right? Let's get into this thing.
All right, but before we do, everybody check out the event that's going on right now, Pie Week. There is an event in the game, but there's also a competition on the forum where in real life you can bake your own pie and submit it for review.
Perhaps yours truly has baked a pie.
Yeah, actually, Bank has baked a pie.
And I'm quite proud of it. This is going to mess it up, but it's a fun little contest. We've got some submissions. We hope to see more of your awesome creations.
What's the prize for this?
Oh my God, there are some pretty cool prizes actually. A 1 year a 1 year special mount instead of the usual 30-day token. I think the top 3 prizes get that. But honestly, you can get a bottomless non-secular die as a choice instead. Ooh. A bottomless die. You won't be able to sell those, so all you money makers, get that out of your head.
Yeah, but I mean, that's going to save a lot of money, right?
That's so cool. Yeah, you save money by spending money. Wait, no.
No. Wait.
Honestly, though, that's such a super cool prize. We all know there's only one true end game, and it's Fashion Hammer. Infinite die.
And this is how you bring Fashion Hammer into the real world.
Oh yeah. And some of the creations on there, I'm worried. I want to try and make the top 3 or at least a runner up. But my gosh, we've got some true artists, culinary artists in our community here, I guess.
Yeah, there are some pretty cool looking pies that are submitted so far. But so get out there, guys. Go make your pies. Submit them for review. We'd like to see what you got.
Yeah. So let's get back to our topic at hand here, which is warband leading, or at least how to get started to it. Maybe many of you aren't saying I want a warband lead, but hopefully these episodes and all of this also gives you a chance to help you understand how you can be a better member of the warband, a proactive member, a member who pushes the warband in the right direction. If you know what your warband leader might be thinking about or some things that are important to them, you can also make sure that you support them in a better way. So this isn't just for warband leaders when I think about it. Really, it's for anyone in the warband who wants to be a better citizen of that warband.
Yeah, and we talk about positioning all the time and how that's key. And if you know what's happening, your positioning is just going to be second nature at that point.
I agree with that. And honestly, thinking about the game in this way is, I think, at least a good way to make yourself a better player overall.
Yeah, true. Like if you lead a warband and you have no idea what you're doing, just jumping into leading will teach you a lot about the game.
Or make you quit. Kidding.
Yeah.
Please don't quit. So we usually break these down by larger topics and jump into discuss, and this time will be no different. I think warband leading starts before you ever get into your chair in front of your computer. I think it starts with having the right mindset. And quite frankly, before I even get into this, many of the organized leaders I've seen know how to set their limits. They might have been planning to do or an optional day for their warband, and they're saying, "Hey, I had a long day today, or I'm just not there mentally right now to be doing this. We'll do it tomorrow." And that is a perfectly okay thing to do. Remember, this is true for everybody. Set your limits. Make sure that you're going in with a positive mindset. One thing that is true, you will face obstacles. Obviously, the number one obstacle is the opposing team that is going to want to attack you. But other obstacles as well. Could be somebody non-collaborating in a region. You could be having computers. You could be having a million different things, and it's going to make your night harder. And so going in already with a positive, solid mindset is going to help you overcome a lot of these, I think. And I think that's very true of PvE
Good
as
point.
well, right, Serge?
Kind of put me on the spot there. Yes and no. I mean, I guess if you get into a group with a bunch of people that have a terrible attitude, it's going to ruin your experience, and I've had plenty of those. I personally try not to bring my outside life into the game and take it out on other people. Some shit happens sometimes, and you say something that pisses somebody off, but we're all people.
Agreed. And so
you caught me off guard, bro.
I love it. Well, you're the one usually guarding, so I don't know, but you are in a squiggy in this one.
Yeah. My two mains
out of guard range at that time, so I did catch you off guard, literally.
I didn't know you were going that way.
It's the element of surprise is important for warband leaders, everybody. We're learning lessons on the fly. Okay, so really, down to brass tacks, remember, the warband will only exist if somebody forms a warband. That seems so obvious, but ultimately, you can have a bunch of people running around in the lakes, and the moment there is a leader available, they will congregate around that leader. That leader could be you. Nothing wrong with that, right? So really, it takes for somebody to take that first step. And if you want to be that person, otherwise, many successful warband leaders, especially organized warband leaders, will have 2 to 3 people that they fall back on and help them either passing assists, doing invites, fixing groups, advertising for the warband, communicating with the region. You can offload some of those tasks, and as you form more and more, you might find these people that you trust, that you want to bring with you, and that are there consistently with you. And as they begin to know you, all of a sudden you've got a very symbiotic relationship, right? Your first attempts might be rough. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, but you're still learning, right?
Correct. And that's really the way that you should approach it, right? Is what did I learn from that? And don't be passive aggressive with yourself. Oh, we got our butts kicked. Sure. few weeks ago we did a podcast, and it was specifically after a night where we got taken for a ride. That's when I
Not a fun
really
ride.
not a fun ride. No, this was an amusement park where we're going like this. It was more like, please stop. It really brought us back, and we went back to the drawing. I mean, I'm so very lucky and privileged to have people that I can talk to afterwards. You're one of them, Serge. Just like talk to afterwards, debrief what went wrong, what went right. You know, the fight on screen right now is a crazy the fight that we're seeing could have gone a million different ways. And we even discussed it afterwards, I remember. But the point is like, let your attempts be just that, attempts. Come back. If you have the possibility of recording your footage, do it.
Yeah,
The
and you
Warband
know,
review. Yeah.
speaking of, if you need help setting up some recording software, let me know.
Yeah.
If you want to start leading and you want tips on how to be a better leader, and you want one of us to kind of give you some pointers on leading, record. We can help you set up your recording software, and we can provide you some tips.
This goes beyond what you've mentioned in previous episodes, where if you're struggling, one of the best things to do is, hey, like, can you review some of my footage with me? It's not any less true for Warband leaders. Really great. Like, the next step of the mindset is have a plan. Have a plan when you come in. Usually when I'm forming, I'm going to look at the State of the Realm, SOR. You're seeing it on the top right of Serj's screen right there with Prague, Black Crag, and Calidor. Things that I'm going to look at is the level of the keeps. How many stars do they have? Both ours and the opposing. What is the current AAO and whatever major zone the fight is happening? Ideally, I'd like to know if there's any organized warband leaders on our side or theirs. And then that starts to formulate a simple plan in my head. Not the band, actually just a simple plan of what are we going to go? Are we trying to push to keep tonight? Is there a possibility to push to fort? You'll see all that from the State of the Realm. And give myself at least one micro goal to begin the evening with. My initial goal is always form a warband where we have strong DPS, at least 2 core groups that we can depend on, and a few of the specific people that I really like to see in my warband
Okay,
to help me out a lot.
quick question.
Yeah.
Why did you say 2 core groups? What's the significance there?
Aha. Perfect question. So I think one of the mistakes that early leaders make is as they're forming or when they have a warband, they might not have the perfect composition. They start to think, I will give each group a little bit. Spread it out, spread the love. I would advise against that. There's no love here, there's only war. Do not spread the love. And Serge, perfect question. Thank you. You want to, like, if you can form one very strong group and that's all you can do that. If you can form 2, perfect, even better. As you go further and if you build up a reputation and things like that, more people will want to join. If you're consistent, you've got a schedule, etc., you'll have people who can match their schedules to yours. But do not make the mistake of, I will try to have each group perform a little bit. No. Take care of group 1. Make sure you have your strong players, tanks, supports in that group. Group 2, strong as much as you can. 2. The other groups will have to make do. You're not helping by spreading the love. The way groups are formed and the way things are set, especially if you want to take big fights, you gotta make sure you have somebody handling, somebody being able to be that front line. Yes, that will make life harder for other groups, but ultimately that will help you succeed and reach your goals.
Nice.
Perfect time for that question, Serge, I think, because that is, I think, one of the most common mistakes I see out of pug leaders is they'll either use auto ban
Spreading the
and kind of
love.
like auto form or spread the love. Like every group has a healer, guys. It's okay. It's not. One healer is not able to do the work of two. They'll start cross healing across groups and things like that.
You're gonna have
Like,
some infighting on your hands now.
maybe.
There are
But
some really good healers out there, guys. Calm down.
100%. Some folks are able to do insane things, but you're gonna be up against really good healers as well. That's the thing, is like there's this reciprocity, right? Like anything you do, the other side is doing as well. Think about that. Like, so yeah, we have lots of good healers, but if they have a group with two healers, that group will smash your group every time because they'll outpace you. So that's kind of I think one of the coolest things about leading is that you have to sharpen your overall awareness. And awareness is another one of those, like, what does it mean as a concept? Well, in the previous episode, you've probably seen me like flick my screen, look at different paths, and I'm so used to these that I just do it quickly. In the intro of the previous video, you see that happen and create a mistake where I flick, I see very few people, turn around, push, and then there was action.
There's a whole lot of people hiding behind that corner.
There's like a warband and a half. And so that'll share. And again, nothing's perfect. You will make mistakes. That's quite all right. Like, honestly, it's just going to make you better. And it's going to make you better even at the roles that you don't play, because people will be looking to you with an expectation. What can you do? Start simple. Get your tanks to have at least one basic spec that you know that you're probably comfortable with getting what you want out of them. The reality and our kind of central thing here is like, break the meta. Well, guess what? There's so many complicated things. In the last Serj, maybe month or two, we've been talking about so many different specs and cool things.
Right.
Forget the meta. Forget it.
So I think a good place to start with all of this is our warband role episodes that we did for tanks, healers, and DPS. We did cover what each role is specifically designed to do and what they should be handling. And if you're going to start leading and you haven't played all three of those roles, maybe dabble in understanding what those roles do a little bit better. Bank did a really good job of breaking down those roles for everybody, and that is a good place to start. And also, you could be on the lookout for our upcoming class guides in the future.
Oh, we're very excited about that, and we'll talk to you all about it a lot. But we wanted to, we saw the comments and people wanted something deeper because they want to go deep and never pull out.
Yeah.
And we heard you.
And just to give a little bit more, we are going to be starting with the healers. So, and that seems to be the number one request. These guides can help with mentoring people in your warband, help guiding the new players that are maybe out of position, not doing the right things, tanks guarding your healers whenever the healers are not in trouble. Don't do that, please. And I think people may have this question, right? What do you think, Bank? What happens when you're struggling as a warband leader?
Ooh. It's a PvP game, huh? You're gonna struggle. And I think it's important that we be honest with you about that, right? There's no road here where there's not any ups and downs. But you were touching on this point, Serj. I think for me, one of the rewarding things is the mentorship. Not just the mentor tokens that you get in the game, but the actual mentorship. Of like when you get somebody messaging you after Warband and being like, hey, like that felt good, but what can I do to get even better? And you're like, oh, let's talk, like let's have fun. Or you might not know and refer this person to somebody else who you respect. I've done that. Like for me, when I get very deep tanking questions, I'm like, yeah, no, Talk to somebody else. I'm
Like
sorry.
if somebody
But I'll
were
get
to
somebody
ask
who I
me,
respect.
like if someone were to ask me, where can I go with my Witch Elf? How can I improve on Warband Witch Elf? I don't know, but I could refer you to players that I know do really good amounts of damage in a Warband as a Witch Elf.
Yeah, talk to my friend Vala. Like that's I can't tell you how to do it, but I know somebody who can. Yeah, I find that part to be so cool. Yeah, ups and downs. Taking just a quickest step back, understand what you're forming. Okay, if it's your first time, you are forming an organized warband. You're in Discord. You're doing your best. Trust me, you're not going to get the same results just yet. So understand your capabilities. Hey, were you looking for tanks for the last 20 minutes and so you invited a level 35 chosen? Wonderful. They're going to do great things for your warband. Just maybe not front the entire, like you're not going to be able to front the entire enemy line. Right? So set your case. Hey, you set up an open warband and you set it to open and you didn't get a comp. That's fine. I've known leaders who do that and they find success. Just again, you might not be at the very tip of the spear. You might not be pushing that funnel, but you find ways to either support a different warband or do something else in the zone that is relevant and important to your realm.
Leading a warband doesn't mean being the tip of the spear. It could also mean supporting the other organized warbands in the zone. It's a really good point.
Yeah, typically you might form to say, hey, I know another person is forming, I want to support. Wonderful. Understand what that does to your capability as a warband and etc. But that is perfectly fine. Thing that we've been mentioning since the start is bring a friend, a guildie, somebody you trust from your alliance, your realm, whatever. Throw them an assist. Help, like if they're willing, talk to them. Communication. Talk to them and hey, can you advertise for the warband while I lead and give us some content? Do you mind telling people in region where we're going? Right? People might be depending on you or other warbands to help coordinate with you. So just take some of the load off. And this perfect moment, I gotta be a meme. Stop it. Get some help. That's it. Just make sure you've got at least, this is a community game. This isn't a game you play alone, and in a warband, that's when you're least alone, right? So make sure that you're getting the help you need. That sounds like more like a PSA, but we're talking about warbands. Just get somebody to help you a little bit. Offload some of that stuff. Stop it. Get some help. I think mindset, it's hard to nail down, but we've given you at least a little bit of a primer here. Let's jump into a topic that is, Serge has the opportunity to push my buttons so much here because this is a topic that I think causes a lot of rage out in the lakes. That topic, communication.
It's probably the hardest thing to master. Being a good communicator, like we could probably have an episode on communication, how to make calls, communication in and of itself. People take classes on it in college. It is a very difficult thing for you to learn, but you're not going to learn if you don't start doing it. Make calls, make bad calls. And then when somebody says, well, I didn't understand what you were saying, then come back and think, well, what could I have said differently to make it more clear? So communication is one of those things that you only get better with as you do. I mean, everything you get better with as you do it, but you are not going to be the best communicator if you've never led a warband before. This is one of those things that's probably going to take the most amount of time.
So, could not possibly agree more. Won't go on a rant here, but communication matters. Like
for you.
No, yours. It was a perfect setup, I think, but execution comes from clarity. Okay.
For sure.
Execution comes from clarity. And again, a simple plan beats no plan. That is genuinely the essence of Black Org.
The best plan.
Okay. You build up to the best, but you build up to the best plan, right? You start with no plan. Exactly. The perfect metaphor for this entire thing. I'm going to do a quick parenthesis here because we're going to get into the specifics of communication, how to do it. Just a quick parenthesis. Don't use the passive voice. What I mean by that is...
What is a passive voice?
Oh, well, we should
Professor
do this.
Bank.
Let me put on my professor hat. That's not true. This is the Warband lead hat. But the passive... Oh, we should do this. Or even the passive-aggressive voice.
I don't like this at all.
I see you're not using guard.
Oh, be decisive. And don't be an ass.
And this happens a lot in the lake. Please, just for all of you, don't be that... Oh, well, I guess I should be doing... Like, shut up. Just... Hi, guys. Let's take Martyrs Square, because we're at Martyrs Square. I think we should ram. I think it's a good opportunity to ram because of this. I'm going to do that. Like, clarify. If you need some... Hey, you, please guard this person. Stay near them within 30 feet at all times. If I don't see you doing that, I'm going to have to find another tank. Like,
I have a good question.
Yes.
If you make a call, like, let's ram, and you don't have support from members in your warband or the realm, what do you do?
My gut, and I mean, there's a million different situations. My gut instinct would be don't ram, but there's so many variables. It's such a great question, but there's so many variables.
Well, let's take it one step at a time. Okay, let's go back. If you make a call and there's members of your warband second guessing you, I say you shut that shit down.
You shut that shit down. I agree.
If you don't have the support of the realm or the other warband leaders on your realm, then what do you do?
That's a whole... Love it. You're right. Shut it down if it's coming from within your warband. There's always these backseat leaders. Sometimes they're helpful. Sometimes they're not. Right. Some folks will naturally start to jive with you and start helping you make certain callouts that you might be missing. Right. So in that situation, totally okay to come back to yourself after the warband, reassert, see where you were at, and kind of try to find that right balance. If the other leaders aren't, then ask yourself, like, is this a hill worth dying over? Right? Figuratively, of course, but is this a hill worth dying over? Meaning that, do I want to ram so bad? Like, what do I see that they're not seeing? And can I communicate that to them clearly? Yeah. I will give you an example, right? I don't like pushing Warcamp. I think that it causes people to log off on both sides. It slows down the fights. It's very boring. I will advise, hey, I'm moving off. Like, if that doesn't mean that we will not make a push towards Warcamp or whatever, but I'm not going to stay there and continuously farm them. And I'll advise the realm, hey, I'm moving. Oh, don't do that. Like, good luck. I am moving. Right? I know, like, I'm in a different situation because I know the capacities of my warband, and sometimes that puts the other warband in a dangerous situation. But they have to realize.
But you called it,
right?
You said, I'm leaving their Warcamp. If they decided to stay, that's on them.
You know what? In our discussion, an answer is coming to me because I don't feel like I answered your question, which was, it's very real and it happens in situations. So I want to answer that clearly. I think that before anything, I'll try to boil it down to 3 key factors on whether or not you should ram. Population is not going to be one of those factors. I'm going to tell you right now. Right? Because people will say, AAO, ram, doesn't matter. Number 1, are you getting good fights in the zone? Is the victory pool full or not? If you're getting no fights and the victory pool isn't full, it might be a good idea to just, okay, let's get this zone off of the slate. Number 2, what are you ramming into? Are you taking a 3-star keep off the map because you have the opportunity? Or is this a zone that's better off held and let other time zones or other players take care of it, right? Taking a 3-star keep off the map can be very, very good idea, but you'll need realm support, right? So understanding the overall situation and what other zones are available. What other zones are available? Should you just switch zones, or should you ram this one and get yourself into it? So I think those are 3 key factors. I stayed away from population. If you see and it makes sense to you, then talk to the realm. Say, hey, I'm thinking these are the factors that are at play. We should do this. If they agree, great. If they don't, remember, when you're committing to a siege, you're committing to half an hour at minimum of grinding down a keep. So let's make sure that we go into this together. I think, parentheses, all of us are very excited about the roadmap that we saw and the potential future updates to the campaign. Everything the devs have cooked up so far to me has been really fun. So I'm very excited, let them cook, let them go into the lab and cook. So I think as the campaign becomes more relevant, this question is going to become even more important. Hopefully I've answered that, Serge.
No,
it's a complicated question, really. Love it. Okay, next step. We're gabbing away here, but Serge, do you think voice is mandatory when leading a warband?
No, but it definitely helps.
It helps. We've got a lot of pug leaders who do WB lead helper, warband lead helper, all in one word, is a great add-on. It gives you little squares that you can left click to send to your warband, right click to send to region. It's extremely helpful. You've probably seen leaders use those.
You can customize it.
You can absolutely customize it. We're not being cheeky, but we're not going to get into autoband. Neither one of us are fans of autoband. So it can help you. It can help you get your
I'm just going to bite my tongue. We will maybe have a discussion on autoband in the future, but this is not the time or the place.
Oh, it would be a spicy one indeed. I don't think either one of us are fans. I do like it that in the newer versions, you can at least in the warband list, in the description, can say what the warband needs so that you don't have somebody click and get kicked all the time. I know there are benefits to it. I'm not trying to judge anybody. We're really not. If you're leading, you're leading. Just do your best. So Warband Lead Helper is a good add-on, I think, that can help you lead without voice. I use it and I use voice. By and large, what we mean by communication is your warband should be aware of what your high-level intents are. What I mean by that is, hey, we're going into the lake, we're going to look for fights. We're going into the lake, we're going to support an existing warband. We're going into the lake, we're going to siege, or things like that.
We're going to
just
set up a funnel. We're going to...
That's a big one.
We're going to stop this ramp. Yeah. We could probably keep listing shit. But...
Yeah. Really, I think Serge had it right. No matter what you say, whether it be in Zone or in Warband, you're going to get a backseat general. I call them Captain Hindsights or Battle Scholars. I love the brilliant people who every time know exactly how we should have won that fight after the fight happened.
Yeah, it's easy to tell a warband leader what they should have done to win a fight after it has already happened.
Yeah. See, in this fight, we should have just been better than them. Boom. That's the kind of
we should have just done more damage. So, if you have, if you know everything, then just go lead a warband.
That's it. But really, outside of that, genuinely, you'll grow into the role. Keep setting the standard, keep setting expectations. I think with communication is active tone. So we are doing this. I expect this. Not passive aggressive, and consistent. If you're gonna call out your movements, call out every time you move. If you're going to call challenge, exactly. Well, that's the way I like to do it. Everyone can find their own way. If you're going to call challenges, call them every time, every fight. And you're going to miss some fights. Keep that. Oh, okay. I forgot it during this fight. What was I doing? What caused me to forget?
That's a good point. You could have a warband assistant that calls challenges for you, so you could focus on the fight as a whole instead of focusing on the challenge rotation.
I do that. Yeah, 100%. So the other thing is, like, oftentimes when we're sitting around, we've all done it. We've all done it in MMOs. You just move it around, right? You just move it around. You're jumping. If you're the warband leader, don't do that.
Yeah, you start moving, then everybody's going to start following you.
Don't do that. It's super annoying. You have 23 people looking at you, looking at where you. Stay still. Figure out where you're going to go, then call the movement.
That's another reason why I don't lead. I can't sit still.
That's fine. You're one of those contributors. You do call-outs and warbands. Like, you're exactly you're one of the people in the audience and the co-host, and so am I. We're both those things. We're quantum podcast people. But because both things exist at the same time.
Yes, I know. Quantum means. Thanks for explaining it. Though.
Jeez. You see, in that fight, you shouldn't have died. This is Battle Scholars, everybody.
I can tell you what should have happened, but we're not going to capture.
You should have killed them instead of.
There you go. There you go. That solves it. Okay. Well,
there you
just
go.
Win every fight, and there won't be a problem.
This is why people come to our podcast, is for this kind of no nonsense advice.
Well, I'm just going to cut everything out. Screw you.
Oh boy. Okay. So really, just to kind of close the loop on communication here, I think there are at least a few areas. Let me give them to you. Challenges, morales, DPS channels. DPS channels means helping your warband set up their strongest abilities. From the Destro side, right? Chapa is being ready to channel, bring it on with all your damage layers. Sork is Disastrous Cascade. We is the spinny thing that kills them. I always forget. Spin something. Right? So big bouncing for Melee's Quick Herder. All those abilities to get them ready, to not use them willy-nilly and use them together in an area of your choosing as the warband leader. That's the DPS channel.
So you would call out for that, though. Like, we're setting up a channel, like, so, because you don't want them to not be channeling to dish out damage all the time. But if you're setting up a channel, you're gonna want to call that out. Like, all right, we're gonna start channeling here to prep your DPS for that channel and for the Witch Kings, so they can save that for the channel.
Everything is so rich with information. Everything you just said right now.
Oh.
Like, I think that's like a whole episode we could just talk about that setup. That's right. So channels aren't meant to be used aimlessly. You want to kind of prep your warband for when you're going to make that call. And the more you do that consistently, the better things will be. Because there's a few things that can happen. Weezbiga is useful during a channel. You mentioned for the Witch King, most of your DPS will have layered damage, so they need 1 or 2 GCDs to throw out the layers before they channel. So doing that consistently, giving them the time to do them, potentially getting into position around you, give it a little bit of time. Perfect. Really, like, that was so dense with information. So challenges, morales, DPS channels, check with your tanks if any of them are SOV and have SOV speeds, right? Could be some other things. Maybe some folks are using certain abilities. Weezbigger, baby SOV if people have onslaught. Anyways, those are some of the high levels, and you might not be able to juggle all of them at once, and really think of it as juggling. Start off with a few things that are important to you. DPS channels is probably the number one, right? The damage will win the fight. But then build up to morales. Morales and DPS channels are probably your first two that you should go with. I think that's reasonable.
It's reasonable.
All right, I think we kind of hit the ground running with communication here. Again, consistency active tone, and just start with a couple of things to remember. Next is composition. Easy, 222. Next.
Okay. Yes and no. I know you're kidding, but there's so many different ways to build a warband, and 222 is what most people, like 99% of the population, is going to say is what an organized warband is. But you can make anything work.
Like we said, if you put up an open warband, you're not going to get perfect 222. People are just not going to join like that. Yeah.
You can still get a 222 with an open warband, but
sure, odds are you won't. You'll have 1 million DPS join.
Yeah, you'll have one group with 222.
But that doesn't mean you can't lead. And again, this is where we were talking about communicate. It's understanding your composition and how to play off of that, right? Understand, very important. While tanks and healers will not ultimately, quote unquote, win the fight for you, they are the absolute foundation. You can't build a house without a foundation. You can't build a warband without a foundation. So, like I said, again, just a few great tanks and healers, and there are many. And I found that there are just so many great healers. There are more great healers than there are great DPS. I'll tell you that. Right? So odds are you'll find a great healer in your warband once in a while, and you'll see what that looks like. Or maybe you're a great healer yourself. But ultimately, tanks and healers can extend the fight. They can't win it for you. You'll need DPS to do that. It's important.
That's absolutely true. The important thing to remember is healers and tanks extend the fight. And if the healers aren't keeping the tanks alive and the tanks aren't keeping the DPS alive, then you don't have an organized warband.
I would say, and I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself here, rule of thumb-ish. If you feel like you've got a good comp and everything, and the moment you're going head to head with another warband, very quickly the fight ends, you have a sustained problem. If you're getting up to morale 1 or 2 and then you're getting rolled, then you have a DPS problem. I think that's kind of hard and fast there. Like I said, just might not apply to all situations.
Just like I like it.
That's what she said. It's just to at least, like, if something's going wrong, it's to give you, and I'm not saying like stop the warband and start shouting at your DPS or tanks or healers. Don't do that. But notice, go check. I like to use Cheeseboard. That's an add-on that you can find on the Retribution website. But go check. Does one or two of your tanks have a lot more deaths than the other tanks? Ask them to play back a little bit. Like, hey, pull back. Come, make sure you're with me, right? Same thing.
Yeah, positioning is probably wrong.
Exactly. I think the amount of deaths tells a story. Like, they're not everything exists in the numbers, but the deaths will tell you a story. If you have a healer or a DPS dying too much, that's more than likely a positioning problem, right? The other thing about composition, joking around the 222, but there's another key fundamental part, is setting the minimum CR and RR requirement for your warband. Now, you can be the top dog on the street there, come in for your first warband and say, I'm not taking anyone under RR 70. Good luck. I would not.
They're going to have a high expectation. Yeah, they're going to have a high expectation of success.
Correct. The folks that join are going to expect something, and you might be ready to deliver that, and that's great if you are. Like, don't shy away from starting up high RR strong organized warbands.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Give yourself a chance to learn. Give yourself a chance to learn first, right?
Well, that kind of begs the question. So, what do I do if I'm leading a warband and there's a bunch of low-level players asking to join, and this is I'm still learning as a warband leader.
So either temper your expectations or temper theirs, right? And there's a few things you should know. There's a few tricks here, right? If you can't, like, if you're struggling now and low levels are asking to join, you're going to struggle more, right? Can you take on, but you might be doing well because you have support in the zone and you're working well. Please, low levels need a place to go. I call them learning warbands, where I talk a little bit more and try to help people learn. For sure, my results are different. How I approach the thing is different, but it's still super fun. I think a couple of things that you should know. Healers with bolster are extremely strong. So don't think that you need to have like full salve healers for them to do a great job. Shaman, Doc to some extent, its frontline's a little harder, but Shaman and Zealot past like level 30, they can pump some serious numbers. Consider them giving them a chance. Tanks, again, mid-30s bolster, they can have like 12,000 health. They won't have all the defensives, so work with them on how they play. They shouldn't play full frontline, and you shouldn't hit very deep. DPS is the one that struggled. Like, DPS is very dependent. Their numbers really start to go up when RR and gear start to go up. So keep that in mind. Again, know your capacities. If you go full pug with low requirements, you might not be able to take on the full organized warband from the other side. I think that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. But not every other warband out there that you're fighting against is full salve either.
Of course not. So we can finish every section like this because, like, ultimately everything you're doing, the other side's doing as well. The struggles you're having, they're having. It's just that real.
Maybe not at the exact same time, but
no, you're right.
You're not both looking at the same moon.
Moore's Leap, but that got blown up in the end times. We need Skaven in this game is what we need. That's the one true fact.
They exist. They exist.
Hush. Playable Skaven.
Okay. The reason why they exist, but you don't see them, is because they don't really exist.
Well, rat men living under Empire cities?
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy.
But yeah, composition matters, but on some of the finer points, not as much as you think. Meaning, can you have a very successful warband with 8 chosen tanks? Sure. They're really good. They still do the job. So yeah, it's also okay to go the other way. And if you want to be picky, be picky. It's your warband. Ain't nobody telling you what you can do or can't do.
But temper your expectations.
Always. That's the one key goal, right? Disappointment comes from the delta of reality and expectations. So just, make sure that you're tempering yourself. Composition, ultimately, it's important, but it's more fluid than you might think. And again, as you gain experience, you'll see. But like, hey, if you're requiring RR 85 plus, and you're wondering why you can't fill a warband, the answer is
because they don't exist. I mean, okay, they exist, but there's not that many people that are 85 plus.
Right.
Oh, that is. I think obviously you're being sarcastic. Nobody's got that as a requirement to join their warband, but yeah.
I mean, they could. It's your warband. Do whatever you want.
100 plus. It's like a handful of people on the server.
People on the server, but they're really good. They've dedicated themselves to that.
Are they good, or have they just been playing the same character for a long time?
At that level of dedication, I think the stuff that's on.
Oh no, they're definitely. If you put that much time into a character, you definitely know how to play that character.
The dedication alone is amazing. But yeah, composition, not this scary thing. Really, it's an opportunity. Um, start off with a 222 or don't. Both will work, but as long as you understand what you will be and won't be capable of doing, right?
You know what?
Um,
You get more Warband Leader tokens if you have an open Warband.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's part of the
Something to
why,
think
right?
about.
Why lead? You get special tokens, and you can buy titles, mounts, potions.
Guys,
I should look at
potions,
that from
motions, and
memory.
emotion. Whoa,
Oh
emotions.
yeah. Was it potions, lotions, and emotions?
Yeah, I totally screwed that up, but you know what I mean. Potions,
That's
lotions, and emotions.
that's a shout out to Cold Brew, because that's our way that we call for pots and linnies now, is we to check your potions, lotions, and emotions. But that's thanks to Cold Brew, I believe, was the originator of that. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments. So you've got two of the basics. You've got communication, composition. You're in the right mindset. You've sat down at your chair. What do you do? What does it
Start
look
forming.
like? What are the tactics, right?
Oh,
We talked about it
here
a
we
lot
go.
last
What
episode.
tactics do I use?
Not the tactics, the 4 that you get. We're talking about strategery.
Yeah, like gameplay tactics.
Exactly. So first of all, go back, like Serge said, and watch our videos on warband roles for 10 kilos and DPS. If you don't feel comfortable with that yet, or even if you do, go ahead and click those videos. Just understanding what each role brings, because if you're gonna set the expectation with your warband, it's important that you understand what that expectation is, right? This is where we're bringing some of just the things that we talked about. We're just going to bring it all together, right? Now that you know the key call outs, now that you know them, apply them consistently. So what does it look like when you're going to go into the fight? Okay, we're going to hit them. Moving with me. 3, 2, 1. Great way to do it on Destro is, especially if you've come down, is like if you have a soft speed. So sovs, call out the specific person. Serjekk, soft speed in 3, 2, 1, go. That's the way I do it. And then the warband moves with you. If you don't have a soft speed, Black Orcs, Wiesbigger on 3, 2, 1, go.
You may have multiple
that gets
Black
you
Orcs.
engaged.
So
yeah. Well, it's per party anyway. Soft speed is for the warband, but Wiesbigger is for the party.
You may have multiple Black Orcs in the same party.
Oh yeah. In that case, make sure who knows which one of them uses it first. Just hey, you use it first. That's great, because you'll have a Wiesbigger for the channel. Then prepare, remind people, hey, beyond me, please open your map very often. That's a simple tactic. Open your map and see your concentration of green dots. If they're not on you, call people out by name. Hey, you, what are you doing over there? Come to me. Easier if you're in Discord, can be done if you're not. Somebody who's not there during the fight, you're losing power. Your warband's losing capability and losing power. So you can't keep putting up with that, because you're going to start getting very inconsistent results. So you know what the rules bring, you know how to call them out. Look where they are. One of the most dangerous things is getting hit. We call them in your tail. Like if you're too long and you have people spread out, somebody coming into your flank or hitting your tail, you have no chance to recover from that, because by the time you turn around, they've already, we say, eaten your tail, and they are going to have morales by the time you do anything of significance.
We're just gonna chomp that entire warband.
Yeah, easily. Once you've been hit, just tell the rest to continue, like the folks who are lagging behind. The idea here is that at that point, like, the fight is already lost. Learn to recognize that and cut your losses. Don't give them more. Ultimately, we're going to come back to this. Don't overcomplicate it. The absolute core of warband fighting is front to back. It's what you're seeing on the screen right now. 2 warbands facing. Well, this is a funnel, but it's still a front to back fight. That is the absolute core.
Can you go into that a little bit more? What exactly is a front to back?
Absolutely. tanks in front, DPS behind them, healers behind them. So again, tanks in the front, DPS behind them, healers behind them. 3 layers. Healers should be the most spread out. Ideally, like actually, let's do the footage we're on right now. Serjekk is playing particularly well. Why is he playing particularly well? Look at that giant line of tanks, and Serjekk backed off the line. What did that allow him to do? 0 DPS, right? What did it really allow him to do is it allowed the tanks to cross guard if they needed. It made the healers less stressed about healing him and allowing the front line. It's because we saw the HPs, we knew they were coming in with morales, so we just gave them a little bit of space so the tanks can do their job without having to babysit us DPS, us fragile little DPS. So that's a front to back fight. Right now they are pushing us. You're seeing a response. They are not, you'll notice they are not going for our back line. We are having a frontline fight. A few of them have made it through, but they're not doing anything of significance, and now Serjekk is on them.
They wipe us here.
Do they? I thought this was one of the fights we won.
No, they ended up getting us here.
So that was a good front to back. I see
we lasted a lot longer. They had a lot of numbers for this one, but we lasted quite a while.
I remember. We got a lot of kills off of that. That's good. And it looks like we're still... No, we're behind on that zone. That was a tough night. But you'll see some Warband leaders just make the calls, push the back line. Yes, pushing the back line is what can win a fight. It can also lose you the fight.
Yeah, if you're leaving your back line exposed.
Healers should be ready to move with you. It requires a warband that's very solid, very strong in its support. It's easier to move when a tank is able to pop a morale 4 and you're not in extreme danger. Don't worry initially about always pushing the back line. Even when 2 organized go front to back like that, and the numbers are even, it's hard for either one. Like, the person pushing is the person pushing themselves out of position. All it takes is a couple of punts on tanks, your DPS starts dying, your healers are on the back foot, and now the defending team, the team being pushed, has an open run towards the healers. Because remember, the healers, as soon as the big damage starts coming through and they have to cast AoE heals or the big heals, they are stuck in place, right? They're stuck in place when that's happening. And so if you're able to counter a push like that, that's going for your backline, and you punish them, all of a sudden you've got juicy healers right in front of you. So that's why I like that kind of balance. Front to back is the key essence. Understanding those lines, that is a perfect setup. Healers spread out. Don't push that backline too early. And as I said in the beginning, part of the tactic is just look at the lake, open your map very often, see where the engages are, try to do your best to guess where the enemy could be, and don't hesitate to ask. Oftentimes I ask in region, eyes on order, eyes on order, eyes on order. Our witch elves and the witch hunters on the other side will be more than happy to give you a battle report if they've seen big numbers.
And other warbands.
I find that part super cool, by the way. Like, I find it really cool that stealth classes play the spies and the reconnaissance and everything. Like, love this game so much.
So tying a knot on the tactics and fundamentals, I think one of the most important things that you can take away is keeping your warband together. So if you have a tail, then slow down up front and let the tail catch up. In our previous podcast, we did a review of some warband footage that Bank took, and there is a prime example of what a tail how it can lead to your warband getting destroyed if the opposition is set up. Something that Bank said is open your map often and just constantly being aware of your surroundings. Not only do you have to know what's going on around you directly, you also need to know what's happening on the entire battlefield. And asking for the advice of your witch elves and your witch hunters and other spies what is going on so you can be in the right place at the right time and not be flanked as well makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Honestly, the focusing on keeping the warband together, there's a reason that there's a title that you can buy with your Warband Leader tokens that's called Cat Herder, because that's really what it feels like sometimes.
Yes, people get
It
distracted.
really is. And honestly, like, look, if you've got a couple of problematic people and they just refuse to listen, and it's just don't invite them again. Like, you control the narrative, you control the flow.
Yeah.
It's your warband. So, look, hey, last
If
time
people
I had to run after you. Okay, sorry, not inviting you.
If people are more concerned with padding their numbers rather than fighting for the warband, they're not there to help. They're competing against other people that don't give a shit about their numbers.
The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? They mean nothing. Like, the numbers can be an indicator, but never forget.
They
no
can.
matter
They
how
can be
deep
an
you get into
indicator.
it,
They can be an indicator of performance when it matters.
but they'll never tell the whole story. Right? They'll never tell the whole story. Obviously, at the end of the night, and you're like, oh my god, like, you love to see yourself perform. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your performance, being proud of your numbers, and all of that. There's nothing wrong with being competitive with other people in your warband. In a healthy way, I mean, don't be a jackass. But understand that in the end, it's a PvP game, and these numbers did not tell you the entire story. Somebody could have had the worst night ever, but on one fight, they popped everything perfect and saved that fight. It was it was to their credit. And how are you gonna like, oh, healing done? Sure, it's gonna get lost in that number, but or whatever they did, like perfect AoE punt or whatnot. That's not gonna show up at all. So don't get lost in that, but don't ignore them completely either. I feel like it's almost contradictory advice. Don't let it frame your entire narrative. You know what good players look like. You'll know more and more as you lead. Just don't think that they tell the entire story, and don't ignore them entirely. You're walking a fine line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a very good start. We want to keep this simple because we know it can be an intimidating thing to do, and we want to get it very accessible to you all. I'm genuinely looking forward to the questions and the comments that we're going to see on this video and this series, because really the most fun that we have is when warbands join into the leagues. We can fight, we can push the campaign, we can do all sorts of cool things when we collaborate and work together. Sometimes a little bit of realm pride, a little bit of good things is what makes this game so amazing. I'm very addicted to this game, Serge. Yeah. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up with part 2 of our Warband Leader series. Keep the questions coming. Do the YouTube thing. Give us a like, subscribe, a comment, tell your friends. If you've got a friend who's thinking of getting into Warband leading, check out these videos. We'd love to hear from them. And we'll keep diving deeper into these concepts. We've got a few more upcoming episodes for you on Warband leading. As Serge was teasing, we've got a huge project, a class deep dive for you all that we're very excited about. Very, very excited about.
For sure. And as the guy that doesn't do warband leading, I'm a little bit tempted to try it now. So I think that means that we did our job.
Yeah, Serjekk band, Serjekk band all the way. That was the entire goal. As DPS Zealot this week. No, we've used DPS Zealot before. DPS
If I lead, it'll probably be on my Squig Herder.
I thought you would have said. You see, you always surprise me. I thought you would have said tank.
I have led on a tank before. It's a little bit more complicated. Squig Herder, it's not as difficult.
because you can be where you want to be. Just go to where you want to be and tell people to get there. Mara's a good one. Lots of people lead on Mara. But hey, you in the audience, if you've been thinking about leading, hi, this is your sign. We are your sign. Go ahead, flag up, form that warband. You might end up having the most fun you've had in this game. That's been my experience. I just want to share it with all of you.
Yeah, and you might actually learn a lot about the game as well. And if you've got any questions about leading that you want us to address in a future episode, drop them in the comments. And check out our description for our Q&A form while you're at it. We are going to be answering some comments and questions from you guys in a future episode. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody.
And we'll see you the next time on the Warcamp Broadcast.
Break the meta, play for fun. Catch you next time.